What's up, YouTube? John Calflagger album review. This time of the 2010 Nuclear Blast release of Dimmu Borgir, Abrahadabra. Abrahadabra is 10 tracks. This edition is 11 tracks with an enhanced video for the single Gateways. Dimmu Borgir is a symphonic black metal band, or a symphonic extreme metal nowadays, hailing from Norway. These guys are either loved or hated. Typically these guys are loathed by the general black metal community because people feel they have sold out and to make more money by creating a more softer sound that's more radio friendly. I've been one of the few people that really has enjoyed Dimmu Borgir's discography, a good portion of it. I can't really think of anything too bad to say about their other albums other than they can be too clean at times, or just really have a weird element that I didn't really like, especially on their mid-era albums of like Puritanica and a few other albums I can't remember offhand. But this album, in my opinion, is their best album since The Grown Darkness Triumphant, which was their third studio album. I'm going to start off like how I always do, guitar-wise. The sound of the guitar is pretty much your typical Dimmu Borgir, clean sound, but yet it's distorted enough so it's distorted enough where it's still black metal, and they still do high enough chords to keep it black metal at times. But then on this album especially, they've been doing a lot of chugs, and in traditional black metal, there's no such thing as chugging, and that's what makes them symphonic extreme metal, in my opinion. The chugs turn off some people to Dimmu's latest material, especially like this album, but I honestly find it really good, and if you don't approach this from a black metal mindset, you will enjoy this. Too many people expect Dimmu to recreate the magic of For All Tid and Stormblast, which those days are over with, and people should pretty much accept that. Just as the days of Dark Throne's Transylvanian Hunger are long gone. Don't expect them to put out the same stuff every album. That's what I love about Dimmu. Is it's never really the same album except for Death Call Armageddon and Sword Diablo, which was pretty much the same album, only Sorry was a concept. Bass-wise, the bass on this album is pretty heavy. It's there. The tone is really nice and warm. It's technical at times, and there's some pretty cool bass slides going on for transitions. Or like when the orchestra's playing, you hear like the bass slide going up this neck. I really enjoy that kind of stuff. That's one thing that I really love about this, is the intricate bass work that is done at times on here. Drum-wise, I want to say that this is probably one of the weakest drum performances of Dimmu, but in a weird sort of way, it works. I feel that their last album had probably one of their strongest drum performances performed by the one and only Hellhammer. And I really miss him. I wish he was on here, but in a weird sort of way, the guy that they had to replace him, it works. He works quite well for this album. Some pretty cool stuff. Vocal-wise, it's a mixed bag. If you're a fan of Dimmu Borgir, you're pretty familiar with Shagrath's kind of shriek, not really shriek, but rasp. His raspy kind of croak almost. And of course, if you know their material since Enthroned Darkness Triumph on, it has a lot of vocal effects added on, which usually annoy me, but for some weird sort of way, it works. They add like a really weird distortion to his voice sometimes, like for spoken word parts, and I enjoy it. I think it's pretty cool. There's some female vocals that you'll either like or you'll just despise. When I first heard it, I despised it, but the more I listen to it now, the more of an evil sound I feel it gives the song Gateways. The female vocals really just give it a evil sound. She just sounds very sinister, and that was the point that my friend Justin brought up with this album. Was when he first heard the song, he thought of it as being more evil, and I heard it and I thought of it just being crappy, but the more I listened to it, the more I could see what he was thinking with it sounding evil. So yeah, I'm really enjoying them now. Clean vocals. That was one thing I was really nervous about with this album, was when Vortex left. He not only did his bass work leave, but so did his clean vocals. And they actually brought in a guy that does some really good cleans, and nothing like Vortex's epic, almost power metal voice. His very unique, epic voice, but the guy that they had come on here for this just did a fantastic job. It really adds to a whole new dimension to Dimmu's sound, and I can't really think of this album without those cleans, really, because it really makes the last song on here, Endings and Continuations, what it is, which is just fantastic. Then, of course, we got the orchestra, which is what Dimmu Borgir has pretty much become known for, is having a huge orchestra. And this time around, there's no exception. They made the orchestra bigger, the choir bigger, and the sound bigger. The production is crystal clear, but it's not overproduced. Drums don't sound triggered, and if they are, they toned it down a lot. That was another thing that kind of annoyed me about their last album, was the drums were triggered as hell. And this time around, they don't really sound it. They have a pretty nice, natural sound to it. And the production, it's just clean. I can't emphasize clean enough. I mean, this album has pretty much got a lot of different stuff on there, from pure orchestral and choir moments to being traditional black metal at times, having acoustic passages, clean vocals, female vocals. This album is just epic and really a huge surprise to me. This is one of the biggest surprises of 2010. Next to this one CD my friend bought yesterday, which I'll talk about in another video. But if I had to give this a score, I'm going to give this a good 8 out of 10. This album is very, very, very good. Nothing really mind-blowing about it, but there is stuff on it that just, in my opinion, is fantastic, and really, Dimmu outdid themselves on this album, especially when you compare it to their last few releases, which had pretty much sounded identical to each other. The CD is fairly easy to find. I know Hot Topic has a jewel case edition that comes with like 3 bonus tracks or something like that. This edition I have is a cool cross digi. It opens up like that. It's pretty sweet. I paid actually $7.99 for this at FYE. It's on sale right now. I would recommend going and get it while it's still on sale before it jumps up to $12. But honestly, this is a great album. Just don't approach it with a black metal mindset. So I'm going to give this an 8.5 out of 10. Just please check this album out.